tired of life being all about ailments and funerals. I want to push myself.
You want to hike the Appalachian Trail?
2,000 miles. You have gone mad.
It's my old pup tent.
It's the perfect place for you to spend the night.
Hi, welcome to What the Flick. I'm Christy. That's Matt. That is Ben. And Ben, as the eldest person at the table, is going to tell us all about A Walk in the Woods.
What? Yeah.
You're a little bit older than the rest of us.
But I look
collectively.
I look the youngest, right?
Right. You're je ne sais quoi. You're youthful je ne sais quoi.
If Christy was not here, yes.
Right. And you were not here.
Right.
If Ben were doing this by himself.
I would look the youngest. So,
maybe.
What this movie almost was, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. This is the story of a fellow named Bill Bryson. He's a travel writer, and he's lived all over the world. He's been back living in America for some time, and his career has reached the end. This is Robert Redford's character, and the movie opens with a scene where his publishing house has reissued all of his sort of traveling around the world books. He hasn't written anything new, and he's there on a Boston morning TV show, sort of inexplicably but oddly funny. It's being hosted by a Piers Morgan Brit, and the guy sort of makes fun of him that he hasn't written anything new, and it's a terribly awkward morning TV interview, and it's tragically the best scene in the movie. And then what happens is that to sort of, reignite his career, find some purpose in his life, Bryson, that's Redford, wants to walk the Appalachian Trail at his age, where presumably he's in his 70s. Redford himself will be 80 next year. And his wife, Emma Thompson, insists somebody go with him. Nobody wants to go with him because who wants to hike the 2,200-mile Appalachian Trail when they're the age of these people, except his old friend who he hasn't seen in 30, 40 years, Nick Nolte, calls him up out of the blue and agrees to go. And these two men set out to search for the meaning of life and understanding what it is to be a man in the 21st century, except really they just walk.
2,000 people a year try to do this. Less than 10% make it. Fit people in their 20s can't do it, Dad.
You'll need a rain cover, too. Rain cover? Why? To keep out the rain.
You are not doing this alone.
How would you like to join me for a little stroll?
Not in this lifetime.
Next time, call me for something fun, like a colonoscopy.
Bryson, it's Katz.
Stephen?
Not Stephen Katz. You two ended up on each other's nerves in Europe.
That was 40 years ago.
I gotta eat every hour, otherwise I get these,
Seizures?
Seizures, that's right.
Good luck. Try not to die, okay?
We go?
We go. What goes up must come down. What the hell happened to down?
John Muir once said, sometimes a man just has to get a loaf of bread and throw it into a sack and jump over the back fence. You okay?
Never better.
You guys camping here?
No, we live here.
How can I help you?
We like a cabin?
You know what your problem is? You're too fat.
Look at this. We're not even halfway there.
No way that's to scale.
Map to scale. That's it. New plan.
This is not like yesterday.
Kathy seems great, but one woman all these years?
Well,
that can't be good for you.
You know, I'm sorry we lost touch.
Yeah, me too.
Jesus, if they come for us, play dead.
If theirs, if they come for us, we are dead.
Well, they say the Appalachian Trail's like life. You don't know what's going to happen next, but you give it your best shot.
So the big cheat for this is that they get to stay in hotels along the way. That's totally cheating. They should be in their tents the whole time, shouldn't they?
I think you can
There
do.
is some tenting.
There's mostly tenting, but occasionally when you come to a town, and I like that part of it. That part seems to me, hey, we're walking this. We're walking 2,200 miles. If there happens to be a hotel a mile off the trail, we're going to go and we're going to shower and we're going to do our laundry. And then, I got no beef with that.
You're okay with that?
Yeah, I'm totally.
I want more hardcore old man camping.
But they're mostly camping, and they're carrying backpacks.
Ben would go glamping.
Yes.
Oh,
Ben wouldn't even set foot on the trail in the first place.
I wouldn't go on the trail in the first place. I wouldn't go for a day.
Yeah, it's far.
You might fly over it.
So what this movie almost was, because Redford has wanted to do this for some time. Bryson wrote the book, I think, in the 80s, maybe, or the 90s, I don't know, sometime.
Mid-80s, I think, yeah. And he was in his 40s.
He was in his 40s, right.
Yeah.
Is that this was one of the movies that was going to be the re-teaming of Newman and Redford.
Yeah.
And
good.
And when you think that these guys, maybe 10 years ago, when they were of a more realistic age to do this, because you have a tough time believing that guys this age could do this at all. It's 2,200 miles. You could do it for 3 days, hard enough. To do it for 5 months seems walking 11 miles a day over difficult terrain when neither of them are experienced campers is crazy. Anyway, but the idea that this could have been Redford and Newman together, somehow you just get the feeling the conversations would have been more meaningful. This movie it literally meanders. It's not really about anything. They have some occasionally amusing conversations. I can't help but like both of them. I've read a fair amount of criticism of Nolte's performance. He feels like he speaks in a way that suggests, wow, the next sentence he utters will be his last. Like
Gravelly is the
death
word.
is
Yes.
really imminent. Death is minutes away for this guy.
He's all ruddy and he's straining.
And I knew watching it that many critics would make fun of him for it. I found it rather appealing. I thought it was amusing. So I like these guys so much that it elevated the movie to watchable. But it really doesn't get, I don't think it get beyond that.
It's very gentle, right? But talking about Newman, like there's a scene, and Matt and I were talking about this last night, there's a scene where they're like on a ledge.
Right, we came out of the screening.
Totally.
Ben and I saw it together.
Right,
and we came out.
drop.
Right,
Yeah.
and we came, so I leaned to Ben, I was like, as the scene ends, I said, would it have killed him to say, hell, the fall will probably kill you? And we came out of the movie, it was so desperate to see some reference to that he and I did the scene together. Right?
Yeah.
Like
That's
it was
sweet.
Just have
right.
Nolte say, well, we could jump, and
jump,
Redford
right.
goes, I'll be honest, I can't swim.
Right.
Just that one little moment, and because they obviously can't jump. The fall would kill them in this case, so,
Right.
and they're that old. But
that scene
would have been,
there, I'm sorry, that scene there is like an encapsulation of everything that's like almost.
It's
and
almost,
could
that's
have
right,
about
right.
the whole movie.
Yeah.
So it's very gentle though. We talk sometimes, Alonzo likes to mention this, a movie to bring your grandma to. Here's a movie to bring your grandma to. It's Labor Day weekend. It's dumping ground weekend for everything that did not get released
it's a
throughout
movie
the
to
summer.
take your grandma to if you don't love your grandma.
Right, fuck that. Take your grandma, believe me, take your grandma to Straight Outta Compton.
and or Transporter.
Yeah, it's fine, I guess.
It's fine.
But it's really toothless, and it has. I don't even know what it was about. I really don't have any idea.
The meaning of life, right?
But there was
rediscovering purpose. I'm reaching here.
Right, but it's a total reach, and if you determine that there is a purpose achieved by one of the characters at the end, it's a very simple purpose that he realized. Very, very not. You could have done that again. A weekend away, a fight with his wife could have taught him this purpose. It was not.
Right.
It was not of any great significance.
Well, it's interesting thinking that Newman might have been in the Nick Nolte role, because then you wonder, would it have more impact, and would you be more willing to kind of see the arc in this story based on what we collectively know of the movies they've done together, right? And what it means in that casting. And you take Newman out and you put Nick Nolte in there, and then it's how thin this script is. Right, and again, it's fine. Like we watch him walking around, and Nolte's funny, and granted, his voice is
right. It's not Nolte's fault.
Right,
right. It's just that he
Script's
isn't Newman, and Newman with Redford.
Right.
Which is a thing by itself.
Right,
And then
that's a thing.
it's a little bit like what happened at the movies. Like,
Aww.
no, but I mean, like,
Which version, Ben?
I mean, two people sitting around talking about movies that, like, first of all, it took Roger and Gene forever to develop their chemistry, and they were a thing. And when you remove someone from it, maybe it succeeded significantly enough with Richard. But there was a constant there that needed to be there, and that constant was Roger.
Right.
And I think we have some experience.
We know a thing or two about this.
Might not work well without Roger.
Can we talk about misogyny for a second?
You mean the manner in which they talk about women?
Yeah. And just the way in which, except for Emma Thompson, the way in which pretty much every woman in this film, the few that there are depicted.
Well, is there a problem with Mary Steenburgen, or is the guy working at the ArcLights introduced her when he was introducing the movie to us? Mary
Steenburgen.
Mary Steenburgen. Is there a problem with Mary
Delicious,
Steenburgen?
with fries.
Yeah.
No, I guess not. I mean, I guess she has some bit of dignity. She's essentially playing the same role here she did in Las Vegas,
Yes,
which
that's
you
right.
also did not mind.
Las Vegas. I
Yeah.
liked.
No, but I see what
Let's
you
not
mean,
kid
like,
ourselves. I liked Las Vegas.
She's an idea. She's not really a person.
Right, and so Robert Redford and Nick Nolte show up at the hotel that she's running, at the little motel that she's running, and they look awful. And granted, okay, yes, it is Robert Redford, but boy, she just throws herself at him.
Can I get you some more towels?
Yeah, and it's a little like, that's a little...
I didn't find herself throwing herself at him. I just think she meets interesting people. I mean, she didn't go after him. Literally, the guy came to her in a bathrobe and said, I need towels, and she's the sole proprietor who doesn't have dementia. And so she went and got him and got him towels. She didn't. I don't know. I thought.
No, I really thought that.
I thought the manner in which they talked about women would be object.
Yeah,
You know, I don't mind
the whole
that
thing about
because-
being slutty, the slutty sister joke they're making, and then there's the really heavy-set woman that.
Yeah, that was a
in
problem.
the
And
laundromat.
Kristen
Listen.
Shaw was was like a caricature of
Yeah.
of annoying women who won't shut up,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so that way they talked about women, I got news for you. That's how a lot of smart guys talk about women when they're with other smart guys, if they know that they're full of crap. And my understanding was they know they're full of crap.
Oh, okay.
So there's a degree of you're talking about it in this
Matt's
way.
shaking his head
I'm
at you.
staying out of this one.
No, I
I'm
just
not
mean
a
so-
smart guy, so
You know,
Or are
so
you a misogynist?
no, right. I
Oh,
mean,
I
I
am.
just like if you take that language literally, then I hear it. I just to me that seemed like in the end how these women ever put up with us
Right.
for a second
I see.
is remarkable.
They're talking trash.
They're talking. It's right. It's just trash talking. It
yeah.
didn't strike me as real,
Okay.
so it struck
All
me
right.
as amusing to see guys at that age trash talking about girls.
Okay, I'm being sensitive.
Amusing is no, but I hear you. Your point is totally valid.
I think Transporter, which we'll talk about in a few minutes, is far more misogynist than this movie.
But
is.
that you expect in a Transporter movie, right? That's like
Sure.
an element
Yeah.
of the genre.
Agreed.
Didn't they dork Robert Redford up a little bit here? I mean, like his hair, like he's got hair, like he's a handsome dude. Even at this, there's a charm to him, and I thought
a little
I thought
bit.
he was too dorky.
I think he's just like New Hampshire. I
Is
think
that
he's
good?
just like LLB New Hampshire.
I thought they made him his hair. He looked weird. His hair was weird. I thought it was strange. And there's a great scene. There's a couple of good scenes in the movie. One, that first scene, and they go to a funeral.
Yeah.
That's a funny line.
Yeah, I mean, there's-
But again, that's not even a funny scene. That's a funny line. That is a funny 3 seconds.
Okay.
From
All right.
Redford.
So what
But
is your number then?
I gave it a 5, but if it had been 2 other guys, it might have been a 2. It's empty.
Matt?
A 4.5.
Yeah. I'm saying 4. It's very gentle.
There were some other great Ken Kwapis directed it, but I think Richard Linklater at one point
Oh, God.
was attached to it.
The script would have been so much better.
Right, and a guy who understands sort of how to do long conversations,
Yeah.
which what this is, and then somebody else of real interest was attached to it too, who knows how to do those scenes. I can't remember.
Well,
what it was.
Ken Kwapis did the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. So this is the Brotherhood of the Traveling Khakis. There you go. So our average is 4.5.
Yeah,
Where
and
is
it's
it?
50% on the tomato meter right now.
It's fine. There's our blur. Bye.